everyone, welcome back to Live, Love, Learn with me Arya and episode 4 in a series on Mahabharat. We all know that initially Mahabharat was narrated in Sanskrit language by Vedavyasa. Later on it was translated into other languages. In this episode, let's know when and by whom Mahabharat was translated into Telugu language. Mahabharat was translated into Telugu by Trinity of Poets, popularly known as Kavitrayam. That is Nannaya, Tikkana, Errana. It was initially started by Adikavi Nannaya Bhattarka. He was there in the court of King Rajaraja Narendra. During 11th century, there were so many people following Jainism and Buddhism. People following Sanatana Dharma, the now called Hinduism, were slowly decreasing. I think today we've replaced the term Sanatana Dharma with Hinduism. But just let me use Sanatana Dharma itself. So Rajaraja Narendra wanted to spread Sanatana Dharma. Most of them suggested that if Mahabharat is retold properly, it would definitely benefit in spreading Sanatana Dharma. The retelling shouldn't be just for the namesake, but with its deep essence of Vedas. So Rajaraja Narendra requested Nannaya to translate it in such a way that Sanatana Dharma is understood well through that. So we can say while translating it, Nannaya's focus was more on retelling the essence than the similes. Actually, Sanskrit was the official language then, meaning in the king's court they speak in Sanskrit. But since it is known only by a few people, Nannaya wanted it to be in Telugu so that it could reach a lot of people. But then people laughed at him, since Telugu was not considered to be such a great language then. In order to satisfy the then poets and all, while translating, Nannaya wrote the first sloka, Shrivani Girijascharaya, completely in Sanskrit. Till 11th century, there is no such huge book written in Telugu. And so, 11th century is considered to be the origin of Telugu language. Vedavyasa's version is of 100 parvas with 1 lakh slokas. And when it's been retold in Telugu, it is converted into 18 parvas. But yeah, it has the complete essence of all those 100 parvas in it. Nannaya translated 2.5 parvas and passed away while translating Aranya Parva. There's also a myth that since Aranya Parva is full of miseries, this is the reason for him dying. I think this could just be a myth. This is the story of 11th century. Post Nannaya, till 13th century, no one dared to resume it. Until Tikkana Somayaji did. During 13th century, the situation turned into something like a huge fight between people worshipping Lord Shiva called Shaivas and people worshipping Lord Krishna called Vaishnavas. By then Palnati Yuddham also happened between the two gangs. Though it started as a small fight for hens, it grew bigger and turned into a war between Nagamma, who is a Veera Shaiva, and Brahma Naidu, who is a Vaishnava. Tikkana wanted to make people understand through his translation the Hariharanada Tattvam, which means Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna are not different but are the same. So Tikkana resumed it from the 4th Parva, which is Virata Parva. Actually, Virata Parva is considered to be auspicious, just like Sundarakanda is considered to be auspicious in Ramayana. The reason for it to be considered so auspicious is that throughout this Parva, good happens to Pandavas. Also, it is said that it's actually good to start narrating Mahabharat from Virata Parva. So, Tikkana finished 15 Parvas. Later on, in 14th century, Yerra Pragada Yerrana finished the other half of 3rd Parva, which Nannaya left unfinished. This is how Mahabharata is translated into Telugu by Nannaya Tikkana Errana, popularly known as Kavitrayam. Post this, there were so many other translations too. But Kavitrayam's version gained more popularity than anybody else's. Mahabharata was translated into many other languages as well. Like for example, we have Pampa Mahabharat, which is a translation into Kannada language. Like after so many versions, the original Vedavyasa's version of 1 lakh slokas summed up to 1.5 lakhs. That's because of an addition of 50,000 slokas as interpolation called Prakshiptam. So when they wanted to exclude those 50,000 slokas, Geeta Press in Gorakhpur, Bombay wanted to publish the original 1 lakh slokas. In spite of having so many versions and translations, they took this Kavitrayam's version as reference to exclude those interpolations. So this way, we can say how original and how close Kavitrayam's version of Mahabharata is to Vedavyasa's version. This is all for today's episode. If you like this episode, give it a big fat thumbs up because that keeps me motivated in making more episodes on Mahabharata. Share this episode with your friends, whoever is interested in knowing Mahabharata. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon next to it so that you receive notifications whenever I post a new episode. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Spotify. Stay home and stay safe. Catch me on another episode on Live, Love, Learn. Until then, this is Arya signing off.